Hey, habit thrivers. If you're ready to rock your next chapter, this is your place. It's time to live your most fit, fearless, and fabulous life. I believe that our daily habits and routines set the foundation for achieving our dream lives and help us find more passion and clarity with less doubt and uncertainty. So let's get cozy. Grab your planner and your favorite beverage and come along with me on this journey of reclaiming your passions and finding new ones along the way. Welcome to the Habit Thrive podcast, a podcast for women in their me now years. Hi, I'm Lori, your host, and each week we come together to create habits, routines, and rituals to regain our power and our awesomeness to live our best chapters yet. Today, in episode 140 of the Habit Thrive podcast, we're diving into an essential conversation that affects every woman, especially in this chapter of our lives: the deep and powerful connection between heart health and brain health. Before we dive in, though, I can't believe that it's been 140 episodes, over 140 consecutive weeks. I have not missed one week yet, so I'm knocking on wood right here, right now. Now, this absolutely could not have happened without your interest, your questions, your comments, your reviews, and mostly your passion for your health. We are in this together and it is so much fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And speaking of fun, I said in last week's episode number 139, if you haven't had a chance to listen yet, we talked about how hugging benefits our heart. So I want to do a quick follow-up because I did give you a challenge for 7 days to play with 4, 8, 12 hugs and play with hugging for up to 20 seconds and to share your ahas and discoveries with me personally or on my Women's Wellness Community page. The link is in the show notes. So if you haven't had a look there, it's so fun to read through. So here are my discoveries. 20 seconds is a long time, but totally worth it. And hugging includes people, ourselves for sure, pets, pillows, stuffed animals, trees, and thinking about this and exploring all of this has made me laugh. What also makes me laugh is the 20-second hug. I will guarantee you, and actually people have let me know this, that hugging someone for 20 seconds, you both start laughing. And so then you get the added benefit of laughing while you're hugging. Now for me, at about the 10-second mark, I start to sway a little side to side. I actually can't stop doing that. I'm not sure why, but again, it makes me laugh. Now when I come in the door, I hug my dog for 20 seconds. And I realized that in the past, I was just kind of coming in and giving her a little hug and maybe, scratching her belly for a second. But a 20-second hug is a game changer. And I know she's loving it too. So keep the exploration, keep the ahas, keep sharing them with me, keep sharing them in the Women's Wellness group. I just think we are absolutely sharing the love. So, continuing with our focus on our heart for the month of February and the very deep connection in this episode between our heart health and our brain health. The topic is near and dear to my heart. I went through menopause quite early at 45 and I'm 60 now, or going to be 60. Now at the time at 45, I never thought much of it, although I did grab a pregnancy test at a pharmacy during a weekend hockey tournament. Said, stay in the truck, boys. Mom just has to grab something. And then, yes, that big sigh of relief upon the results. But then that stunning moment where I was like, am I in menopause? So menopause at 45 and the ensuing estrogen dropping craziness, as I did not take and have not taken any HRT, right? So I was in it, fully in it. Now, that topic in terms of hormone replacement therapy, that is a whole series of episodes on their own. And we're going to explore a little bit more, but not on this episode today. So, between the ages of 45 and 60, there was a bit of a downhill slide, so to speak, of my bones, my skin, my hair, my brain, and my eyes. That has been my latest exploration, is researching the relationship between estrogen dropping and eye issues in women. So yes, lots of casualties along the way. I know it sounds depressing. I have found, though, that this researching and learning more information and digging in has actually made me feel more hopeful. The biggest thing that I've realized is the huge connection between every single part of our body, every organ, all the chemicals and hormones that are flowing through our bodies, our muscles, our tissues, our fascia, everything. That how one thing, such as movement, exercise, a yoga posture, or something we eat, or the medicine that we take, a supplement, right? Our hormone, a chemical, how this affects one part of the body, but truly every other part of the body is impacted. And so this, let's say, previous focus in all parts of, I'm going to say, research on separating things, right? Even as early on in anatomy, they took the fascia right off of the entire body so that they could look at the more important muscles, not realizing that fascia affects the entire body. It is a webbing and it is extremely important. And that was like not too long ago. So it is very interesting and it is very hopeful. And that ability to see the body as a whole. And still, many of us, myself included not too long ago, thinking about the heart and the brain as separate entities. But research and science now is exploring just how powerfully linked they are. So what's good for your heart is good for your brain. So I'm going to speak quite briefly to just estrogen's role in the heart-brain connection, but it's not just estrogen as research continues to explode and explore this connection. So before menopause, estrogen helps regulate blood flow to the brain and the heart. Our cholesterol, right, keeping the arteries clearer, neurotransmitters, supporting mood and cognition like the serotonin, dopamine, melatonin, for example, right, powerful neurotransmitters. So after menopause, estrogen declines, so the risk of heart disease increases due to stiffer arteries and higher blood pressure. And again, I'm simplifying this and just giving some of the bare bones, but the brain gets less blood flow, leading to brain fog, memory issues, mood swings, and yes, the list goes on and on and on. The ones that we really notice, we notice all of that, but the hot flashes, the night sweats, right? The sleep deprivation. So we have, as we come into menopause, the increased risk of heart disease. Again, mentioned the cholesterol, so lower estrogen can lead to higher LDL or bad cholesterol and lower HDL or good cholesterol, and blood vessels become less flexible, increasing the risk again of hypertension and stroke. Bad news bears stuff, but there are things that we can do. Now, first of all, I am going to say speak to your doctor about any of these symptoms, especially for all of you who are listening who are not in menopause yet, right? And you are in perimenopause, or you're noticing these symptoms. So that discussion with your doctor right now is so important, because a lot of the research that was around when I was going through menopause, it is being disputed now. And so these discussions around our hormones and what's happening to us as women, so much more, always important. But right now, very, very important and very timely. But all of that being said, for us personally, there are daily habits that we can look at and check them off our list to ensure that we're doing for our heart and our brain health. Now, you're going to notice that some of these are going to stand out more for you. Some of them you're doing, some of them you used to do, some of them you thought, I didn't realize that they were so important. So I'm going to speak to number 1, cardiovascular exercise. That is walking, dancing, swimming, biking, skiing, snowshoeing, any and all that increase blood flow, and anything that is increasing blood flow is supporting brain function. Strength training, more people are out doing the cardiovascular activity, which is fantastic. The strength training and the flexibility pairs with this beautifully, because as you do your flexibility training, whether it's yoga, a combination of yoga and Pilates, and you're combining that with strength training, whether that is with weights and or with your Pilates and with bands, putting strength training and flexibility training together with your cardiovascular training means that, for example, you are going to be able to go for a longer walk. Your hip flexors are going to be happier when you're going out on that snowshoe. So all of this means that we have better blood flow, that we have better connection between all of our muscles in our body. We have rhythm, we have movement. I always talked about how, and I still do, about how dancing is so wonderful for the brain. Again, we're going forward, we're going back, we're going side to side, we're going up and down. We have the music going. This stuff is so powerful, I can't even, right? And the combination of the cardiovascular exercise, the strength training, and the flexibility. So the goal, at least 150 minutes of moderate cardiovascular activity a week. Definitely 2 to 3 days of, or not days, but 2 to 3 sessions of strength training a week and flexibility every day. I say the same thing all of the time, and I'm just going to keep saying it. A little bit more, perhaps, right? You might get a little bit more benefit, but this is what to work towards. Now that's movement and moving. So number 2, which is actually a little bit more, the word's not controversial, but it really depends on your particular health. When you are thinking about and designing a eating regime for your heart and your brain. So the Mediterranean diet still comes, out there as one of the best for both heart and brain health. So what is not argued, antioxidants, so the berries, the leafy greens, for example, vegetables in general, for sure, reducing processed food, the sugars, the unhealthy fats, in terms of decreasing inflammation, right? That is helpful for both the heart and the brain. Now, the omega-3s, whether they're plant-based, fish, salmon, flax seeds, walnuts, right? That is an individual decision. Look up the research on that. And the recommendation even around healthy fats like olive oil, nuts, and avocados. Fantastic for some people, but it is, again, a discussion to have with your dietitian or your doctor, and also digging in on your own with the research around that. So you have the movement, you have the eating for, again, your heart and your brain. So number 3, managing stress and strengthening resilience. So as a yoga instructor, Pilates instructor, meditation teacher, Ayurvedic practitioner, deep breathing, meditation, yoga, mindfulness, all help to regulate heart rate and just bring balance to our nervous system. Breath work is the basis and the foundation, I'm going to say, of heart and brain health, heart and brain coherence. So simply noticing when you're holding your breath, taking those opportunities of transitional times, right? Before you go, as you're letting go to sleep at night, before you get out of bed in the morning, as you transition in and out of your vehicle during the day, as you get up and down from the table, from your desk, take a moment, connect in with your breath. Maybe take an inhale for 5 seconds, explore holding for 5 seconds, exhaling for 5 seconds. Do that 3 times. This is a specific heart coherence method. And again, it stays with you. So that's number 3. Number 4 is prioritizing your sleep. Having a sacred evening ritual for a good night's sleep and a solid morning routine. To set up that serotonin and melatonin rhythm for you, right? That's your solid morning routine that has you energized for the day and able to let go into your night. So the connection between your heart and your brain is powerful. And the choices you make today impact your well-being for years to come. And it's never, ever, ever too late to start, to add on to this checklist. Small, consistent habits create lasting change. I'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode, what resonated with you, and I'd love you to pop into the Women's Wellness community. So check in the show notes. Again, you can connect there and I will let you in. It is a private group, so ask to join and I will pop in there and let you in. And certainly if you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend, a family member, anyone who you feel needs to hear this. And remember, this is your time. Your me now years. Every small habit, every mindful choice, and every act of self-care is a step towards thriving in this chapter of your life. So together, let's take a soft, collective inhale. Give your heart a little squeeze. Release with a nice long exhale. Let love go and let love flow. Until next time, stay strong, stay vibrant, and keep thriving. If you love this episode, I guarantee you're going to love exploring all the amazing opportunities that await us in reclaiming our awesomeness together. So come on over to my Facebook group, Women's Wellness Community for women wanting to rock their me now years, or let's connect over on Instagram at HabitGuru365. And make the Habit Guru podcast your healthy new habit.